Hey everybody, I'm Nate the Movie Guy, and today I'll be reviewing Jordan Peele's third film, Nope. The residents of a lonely gulch in inland California bear witness to an uncanny and chilling discovery. So as I've made videos about his first two films, Get Out and Us, recently, I love this man so much. I think he's a great comedian, and I honestly think he's one of the best horror directors working today. And I think this film cements him as one of the all-time greats. I think this is one of the best movies of the year, and it is all because of how this film uses spectacle. Every Jordan Peele film has had some sort of social commentary, and this one is all about monetizing trauma and monetizing spectacle. Its true terror lies in the fact that some of these characters have gone to such great lengths to monetize their trauma and monetize spectacle. And the movie even opens on a quote about spectacle. And it has a lot to say about, again, trying to make a hell of a whole lot of money about something potentially very traumatic and very life-altering. And not only in the, alien threat kind of way, but in a more just like, there is a subplot, which I won't go in, again, that's the only thing, there's a subplot involving a tragedy that took place on a TV set. And a character who has grown up and lived with that trauma of this tragedy, despite having a hard time talking about this event, it pays a great deal of money, or has people pay a great deal of money to hear him talk about it, or to see memorabilia from the tragedy. And it was brilliant and chilling. And honestly, if I'm being honest, this whole subplot was honestly scarier than the whatever's in the sky stuff that the main plot focuses on. Seriously, this movie is truly terrifying because it taps into two of my biggest childhood fears. Everyone has those little fears in the back of their mind that you don't really think about, but whenever it comes up you just feel uncomfortable even if you can't explain it. So for me, those two things have always been like animals and looking up at the sky and thinking to myself, what is out there? And this movie it just so happens to exploit those two fears of mine brilliantly. I was glued to my seat, white knuckle the armrests the entire way through. There were parts of this movie where I couldn't breathe and I couldn't blink because I was truly afraid. And I think what contributed to that is I saw this movie in IMAX, and if that is an option for you, or Dolby Cinema, please go see this movie on the biggest screen possible. This movie was made to be seen on the biggest screen possible. And the whole IMAX experience with the amazing sound, especially the sound. I'm gonna get the sound in a minute, but the expanded aspect ratio. This movie is designed for the IMAX experience, and the sound design of this movie was thunderous and loud and powerful. There were some sequences where after my ears were ringing. It was nuts. I was sweating. I might because it was kind of hot in the theater, but it was just so intense and so loud and awesome, and it was so thrilling and fun. And I saw this with my brother Matt. The two of us went tonight, and there were a couple points during the movie we looked at each other and we were just like, oh my god. And the whole thing with like this threat, this thing that's threatening the safety of this ranch was great, and it was so surprising and way different than I thought this movie would be. It is the complete opposite of what I thought this movie was going to be. When the trailers were coming out, especially like the final trailer for this movie, I was like, I feel like they're just giving away way too much of this movie. I was completely wrong. There are so many awesome surprises and parts of the story that are just not at all represented in the trailer. And it was a very surprising and just fun horror, thriller, sci-fi experience. And if you're a fan of either of those three genres, you will get so much out of this movie. I will say, though, this movie isn't for everybody. Just like how Get Out and Us weren't. This is not a crowd-pleasing type movie. This is this will be a very divisive movie, I feel. I think it will be even more divisive than Us. Personally, for me, I think this is his strongest work yet. It is really great, and the like mishmash of all the different genres, especially in the last half hour of the movie, is brilliant. It combines horror and sci-fi and western and like creature feature all in a brilliant, bizarro, boisterous, insane third act that was so thrilling and riveting. And I would pay to see this movie again just for the final half hour of the movie. It was that amazing. And the ending I thought was really satisfying and a way different ending than I thought it was going to be. And I loved every single second of it. All the characters in the movie were great too. All of them were really interesting and likable. And Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya, they played siblings in the movie, were amazing. Easily some of their best work from the both of them. And Daniel Kaluuya especially, he is a master of silence. A lot of the best moments from his character are completely silent. He is not saying a word. And he is just so good at conveying so much emotion through his eyes and through his face and body language. And it was great. And I liked all the characterization done, and his character was very soft-spoken, so when something kind of exciting happens towards the final stretch of the movie, it was really just honestly really funny to see some of his reactions to things and see how his character is more than just this kind of just chill, soft-spoken working guy. One more thing I'd like to add, and this isn't really like a real part of the review, I just kind of wanted to mention it just because I thought it was really interesting. The film is structured not like a typical Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 type story. It's structured almost like chapters to a novel, to the extent of like after a section or a chapter, the screen will cut to black and then text will show up on the screen, like what the next chapter of the movie will be called, almost like reading a novel, with each chapter having a title. And without spoiling anything, I have never been more terrified of the name Gordy in my entire life. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. So yeah, I think Nope is Jordan Peele's best work yet. It is so ambitious and so tense and just a great combination and homage to things like Jaws and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It is a really profound and intelligent movie, and it easily deserves the Nate seal of approval. Honestly, I almost thought about making a new rating for something like higher than the seal of approval just for this movie, because it was so damn good. And again, easily one of the best movies of the year so far. In a year we've had some great movies. I mean, the Batman, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Black Phone, some absolutely phenomenal movies, and this is easily one of the best. Top 5 for sure. and I highly, highly recommend going to see this movie. Go see it in IMAX or a Dolby Cinema, whatever giant screen you can find. Go see this movie in it. It was made to be seen that way, and I'm a big sucker for that kind of thing. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to have a different type of video coming here soon. There are going to be some changes coming to the channel here pretty soon. If you know me personally, you probably can assume what those will relate to. But there will be a big video kind of explaining the future of the channel here in a couple weeks. But don't worry about that now. Normal content for now. Keep an eye out next week for the start of my brand new segment. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh my god, I'm sweaty. It's so hot. Ugh.